He woke up on a cold, metal table, his head pounding and his vision blurry. The room smelled of damp and decay. The faint hum of flickering lights filled the air. As he sat up, he realized he was in an old hospital. The walls were cracked and peeling, and the floor was littered with debris. He couldn't remember how he got there, or why he was dressed in tattered clothes. His heart began to race as he heard a faint noise from the hallway. It sounded like footsteps, slow, deliberate, and heavy. He froze, trying to calm his breathing, but the sound grew closer. He climbed off the table, his bare feet touching the freezing floor. He peeked into the hallway. It was dimly lit and stretched endlessly in both directions. Shadows danced across the walls, but there was no one in sight. The footsteps stopped, but an eerie creaking sound began, like a door opening somewhere in the distance. He decided to move, keeping close to the wall. Every step he took echoed slightly, despite his attempts to stay quiet. The hospital was a maze of identical corridors, broken wheelchairs, and rusted medical equipment scattered everywhere. As he turned a corner, he saw something at the far end of the hall. It was tall, its figure shrouded in darkness, but its eyes glowed faintly red. They locked onto him, and he felt a chill run down his spine. Without thinking, he ran, his feet slipping on the grime-covered tiles. The creature's heavy steps followed, growing louder and faster with each passing second. No matter which hallway he took, it seemed to always be right behind him. The air grew colder, and his lungs burned as he sprinted through the endless labyrinth. He found a door marked stairwell and pushed it open. The metal screamed as it moved, but he didn't care. He ran up the stairs two at a time, his legs trembling. He could hear the thing climbing after him, its claws scraping against the walls. He reached another floor and burst through the door into another hallway. This one was darker and filled with an unnatural mist. His breaths were shallow, and his body begged him to stop. But he couldn't. He kept running. Every so often, he would glance over his shoulder and see those glowing eyes drawing closer, as if the creature was toying with him. He stumbled into a room and slammed the door shut, his back pressed against it as he tried to catch his breath. The room was small and filled with old surgical tools hanging from hooks. The air was thick and metallic. Suddenly, the footsteps stopped. The silence was deafening. He strained his ears, but heard nothing except the rapid thumping of his heart. He thought maybe it was over, maybe it had given up. But then, he felt something cold and sharp brush against his neck. He didn't have time to scream.